So I uploaded a video yesterday on the news of the Cavs making Andre Drummond available in a trade and that they'll actually be sitting him out of the lineup. Literally, he's not going to be playing until he's moved to another team. This was designed to give Jarrett Allen more playing time at center, and because it's a bit awkward when you're trying to play a guy you know you're about to trade at a moment's notice. In the video, I talked about the pros and cons of Drummond and whether he fits on this Bulls roster and some of the potential trade scenarios for him. Now, shortly after this news came out, the Detroit Pistons announced they're going to do the same thing with Blake Griffin and that they agreed he will be out of the lineup until the franchise and his representative, in other words his agent, work through resolution on his playing future. In other words, we're rebuilding, we're going to look to trade you or do a contract buyout. Mind you, they owe Blake Griffin $36.6 million this season and then a whopping $39 million next season on a player option that he has. Crazy to me that Blake Griffin got that kind of contract. I know obviously he was a lot healthier when that deal was made, but still, he's no LeBron James. Now, with the kind of salary that Griffin is getting, it's going to be very hard to find a trade partner who will take on that kind of contract or even just to make the money work. I mean, it's difficult to even make the money work in the Andre Drummond trade scenario, but this is even more than that. And the reason I bring all of this up is because I hear a lot of Bulls fans saying we should go after Blake Griffin because our main big men are always injured. And that's what I want to talk to you about today, because I think it would be a huge mistake for the Bulls and don't feel it makes sense at all in trying to get him. So what's going on, everyone? You're listening to Bull Central here. Hope you're all doing well. So as I mentioned in my video from yesterday on the potential of the Bulls going after Drummond, it's no secret that the Bulls are in need of a true center, a traditional big man that can crash the boards and defend well, which is why the possibility of getting Drummond via a trade now that he's available is intriguing. Now, there are a lot of other factors that have to be considered to actually making a trade for Drummond worth it, which I go into detail into that video, so I won't go into that here, but feel free to check that out in case you missed it. But let's talk about Blake Griffin, because I don't know if some people just haven't been watching him over the past couple of seasons, but he has severely regressed from the super athletic and dominant big man he used to be in his early days with the Clippers. I mean, the fact that I hear some people saying the Bulls should get him because our bigs are injury prone, which granted is fair, although it was great to see Wendell back in the lineup last night. But Blake Griffin is just as injury prone as these guys, if not worse. And on top of that, he's going to be 32 years old next month. He's not in his early 30s like Markkanen and Wendell Carter Jr. are, who still have potential if they can stay healthy, or even like Drummond for that matter, who is only 27. So I really failed to grasp how Griffin is going to make sense for this Bulls roster, given what we're trying to build for the future around the young core. Griffin wouldn't fit the Bulls timeline at all, and he's certainly not even close to being worth the contract that he's owed. So to give up assets to get Griffin on an inflated contract, which is not an expiring deal, by the way, he has a player option for next season, which I'm sure he'll certainly pick up, as he will not be able to get anything close to that kind of money at his age. I mean, it's possible with his injury history and the way that he's regressed so dramatically, he might even be out of the league in 3 years. Now, granted, Griffin has evolved his game quite a bit to adjust to the new NBA. He's improved his outside shooting and ability to spread the floor as a stretch four, whereas before in LA, he was all about moving in the post and using his size and athleticism to get to the basket. So I will say that aspect of Griffin has impressed me in that he's been able to adjust nicely based on his level of play. But again, this isn't what the Bulls need. The Bulls need a true center, a defensive big man that can protect the rim and crash the boards, and Blake Griffin just isn't that. Now, if we're talking about a buyout situation where Griffin gets bought out of his contract by the Pistons and he becomes available on the open market, and the Bulls could get him for, say, the veteran minimum, then I mean, sure, I guess there is some value there, some value that we kind of see from Garrett Temple and Thaddeus Young in just a veteran presence that can get you some scoring and mentor the young guys. And then sure, that might make sense, but even then I just don't see it as necessary. Now, I'll put a community poll so I can see where Bulls fans stand on this take and whether you think we should go for Blake Griffin. Maybe I'm crazy and I'm just not seeing something here, which is possible, but I just don't see how this makes any sense whatsoever for the Bulls. Now, I asked the same question yesterday on if you guys thought we should trade for Andre Drummond, and based on the poll results, as well as the comments from the video, we got a pretty resounding response that fans think we should try and make a trade for him. As you can see, the results from the poll, out of 472 votes, 61% of you felt that we should trade for him. Now, I am personally in the yes camp for trading for Drummond, but like I mentioned in the video, within reason in terms of what we would have to give up for him, and also depending on if we can get assurances that we would be able to re-sign him, as he will be a free agent this offseason, whether we trade for him or not. But as for Blake Griffin, let me know what you guys think in the comments, or if you're on the Blake train and wanting to bring him to Chicago, does he make sense for this roster? As always, guys, be sure to subscribe if you're a Bulls fan and you like daily Bulls content. Thanks again for tuning in, guys, and I will catch you in the next one.